Atlanta News First Plus starts now with a First Alert Weather Day.
Hi, friends. Today it is hot outside. I can actually just confirm. I went out there. Oh boy. Very hot. And it's only going to get hotter from here. We're not even under the heat advisory for another 2 hours. Currently feels like 97 in Atlanta, 98 to 97 in Rome. This will be by far the hottest day of the year, and we are under our first heat advisory of the season. You guys know we live in Georgia. We're used to this, but we haven't felt this heat in 10 months, almost 11. Okay, so everyone outside of the mountains under a heat advisory today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow. So that heat advisory goes into effect at 1 p.m. It is in place all the way through 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. So we're looking at 36 hours of dangerous heat here, y'all. All right? Noon today, in 1 hour, it will be 92 degrees. It will feel like 99. At 3 p.m., 96. Feels like 103. 6 p.m. still feels like 99. So we're going to spend about 7 hours with feels like temperatures at or above 100 degrees. Today, the forecast high is 97. The record high is 99, set back in 1988. So we're just a few degrees away from that 99 mark, and I think some areas could hit 99 or 100, okay? Atlanta, Athens, Covington, Eatonton, Rome. I do not know why there is a thunderstorm icon for today on there. We're not going to see any rain whatsoever, okay? So in terms of the heat risk, this is a product issued by the National Weather Service, and it's a great product. It shows just the combination of a lot of things: asphalt, pavement, the heat and humidity. And you can see outside of the mountains where there's a lot of woods and it's higher elevation, pretty much all the rest of us are under a high heat risk. That's that red. But areas up towards Gainesville where the humidity is really high from Lake Lanier, this includes most of Hall County, Banks County, and then inside the perimeter where most of us work and a lot of us live. This is where there's an extreme heat risk today. So everywhere inside the perimeter, also Sandy Springs, Roswell, Lawrenceville, Norcross, Duluth, Stone Mountain, Lithonia, okay, Forest Park, East Point, Mableton, all under that extreme heat risk. That means you gotta be limiting your time outside. And I know there's a lot of camps, summer camps in this area. You gotta be thinking about your kids today and tomorrow as well, guys. They need to be going off to camp with a lot of ability to cool off. A lot of Gatorade, a lot of breaks, okay? This is what's known as the urban heat island, which we see a lot in the summer. It's basically just the pavement and the asphalt and a lot of things like reflective buildings and all that kind of stuff. Factories, right? Rooftops help absorb a lot of the heat and heat up city centers. So you will see that, like we just went through, the urban heat island inside of the city perimeter in most of the highly populated metro Atlanta cities, that's where the heat risk is the highest today. It can be up to 6 degrees warmer in the urban heat island than elsewhere, especially in the morning. We see it really in the mornings in the summer. Like this morning, I don't think Atlanta got lower than 80 degrees. Meanwhile, most other areas were in the low 70s. So we really hold on to the heat at night as well, okay? Heat-related deaths in the last couple years, this is super interesting, guys, have gone way up. The years that I remember that have been the hottest, 2012 was a really hot year. 2016 was a really hot year. That seems about average. So last 20 years, 912 people per year in the United States. This is the United States only. 912 people per year die from heat. That's really high, okay? That's a lot of heat-related deaths. In the last 10 years, that's bumped up to over 1,100. In the last 5 years, that's 1,500. And I try to do some research why. Well, it is getting hotter outside, okay? The last couple of years, especially last year, the Great Lakes region, 10 states in the Northeast and the Great Lake region, so areas where a lot of people don't have air conditioning last year, they saw their hottest summer ever on record. So it's especially dangerous in the summer for areas up north, cities like Boston, cities like Minneapolis, where some people literally don't have air conditioning when it gets really hot up there, and they do see days as hot as we do here. They're rarer, but they do happen, and that's when you get the deaths, okay? We have cooling shelters, we have air conditioning, we have ways to cool off in the south, but a lot of those deaths are related to northern heat outbreaks and just a warming globe in general, okay? So I wanted to just go through some of the differences that you should look for, because if you guys have ever had heat exhaustion, it's a real thing and it sucks, okay? You can feel really really dizzy. You can be kind of, your skin will be really kind of cold and clammy. If you're sweating a ton, really your pulse, your heart will start beating, trying to make up for your body, and that's heat exhaustion. But what is even more dangerous is heat stroke. That is when your body is completely dehydrated, you completely stop sweating. Sweating is a mechanism for your body to cool itself down. If your body stops sweating, then you can pretty much die from heat. So heat stroke is even more dangerous. So these are just things to look out for. And you can avoid this by limiting your time outside in the hottest part of the day. Today and tomorrow, 1 to 6 p.m. Limit your time outside, okay? Right, so here's the differences. Heat exhaustion, get to a cool place, drink a lot of water, take a cool shower. Heat stroke, call 911, because you need rapid rehydration, okay? And here's what we're seeing. This kind of heat outbreak, it's not only for us here. It is millions and millions of Americans, pretty much the eastern, I would say east of the Mississippi, but even parts of the Midwest. The eastern half of the country is experiencing highs in the mid-90s to near 100. Look at Boston, 101 degrees today. Holy cow. 96 in Louisville, 95 in Little Rock, 98 in Charlotte, 97 here. So it is the entire eastern United States, and it's due to the big high pressure that's in place. So widespread heat advisories across the south, extreme heat warnings. Now, their criteria along and to the north of us and along the East Coast, their thresholds for extreme heat warnings are a little bit lower than us here in Metro Atlanta. But still, seeing extreme heat warning across much of the Carolinas, up into most of Maryland, and then all of New Jersey, a lot of the Northeast, that's pretty incredible. So this is a huge heat outbreak. It will not last much longer. It's going to last today and tomorrow, all due to the big dome of high pressure. We've been talking about this. Under high pressure, air sinks, it compresses, it warms, shuts off most rain, because when air sinks, you can't get evaporation. That high pressure is sitting right over us here in Atlanta today, which is why it's going to be the hottest day. Tomorrow, that high pressure starts to work its way north. We're still under its influence, so it's still going to be hot. But tomorrow, underneath that upper level high, a low pressure is going to form. That's essentially going to usher in a lot of moisture, so it's still going to be just as hot. But we're going to see afternoon thunderstorms. And when you have this setup, a low underneath a high, you can get strong to severe storms, because the lapse rates, or the rate at which things are evaporating, is really fast because of how hot it is. And that promotes really strong storms, potentially with hail and with really damaging winds. When you have a lot of really fast evaporation going up, then you have to have fast downdrafts coming down, right? Just laws of physics. Something in motion stays in motion. What goes up must come down. So that's what we're going to see tomorrow. Tomorrow's still just as hot. This is our in-house model predicting mid to even upper 90s again tomorrow afternoon. So still just as hot. But the heat index actually may be higher tomorrow because of the increased humidity. It's humid out there today, but because we're going to see that moisture move in tomorrow, look at the heat index between 2 to 4 p.m. before the storms move in, 106. Oh, baby. So tomorrow, I might actually end up feeling hotter outside. It just depends on when the storms move in, and we don't think the storms are going to start to form until after the hottest part of the day, so after about 3 p.m. tomorrow, okay? So tomorrow, the first half of the day is going to be all about the heat. You're going to start to see those scattered storms form. You can see they're coming in from South Carolina, that moisture making its way inward. It reaches Georgia around 4, 5, 6 p.m., so I think by 7 p.m. we'll see scattered storms. Storms will be widespread between 8 to 11 p.m., so this is going to be... And take this with a grain of salt. I will say the other model is bringing storms in as early as 11 a.m. I don't think that's going to happen. From everything I've looked at, the energy from the low doesn't reach us until the evening. I do think, though, whenever these storms move in, again, widespread damaging winds are likely, really heavy rain, and a lot of lightning. And again, that's going to be tomorrow, I think tomorrow evening. We'll dry out overnight, but some storms could last even well into the late night hours, midnight, 1 a.m., okay? Here's what I'm talking about. This is the CAPE, the convective available potential energy, okay, which is how much energy is available in the atmosphere, has a lot to do with how hot it is outside. Look at all of the energy. This is tomorrow at 9 a.m. So much energy. There's extreme amounts of energy for these storms to work with through the afternoon and into the evening, essentially until the rain moves in and wipes out that energy. It's going to tap into it. And that's why I'm really thinking that our risk of downdraft winds, and I bet you're wondering, what is that? Downbursts. They're the type of thunderstorms that can produce wind damage that kind of resembles of tornadoes. Basically, you have rain that comes out of a storm, and that brings the wind with it, hits the ground, and it spreads out in all directions. And it can come down out of a storm at like 80 miles per hour, hit the ground, and spread out. So you can get winds out of these downburst storms in the summer that are equivalent to EF0, EF1 tornadoes. Okay, so we're not going to see any tornadoes tomorrow, but we certainly could see a lot of downed trees. We could see power outages, a lot of lightning. I think these storms are going to be very strong tomorrow. I think we will see multiple severe thunderstorm warnings tomorrow evening. So just be prepared for that, okay? You're going to want to stay closely tuned to the forecast tomorrow evening. Now, after tomorrow, we switch into a wetter pattern. The high breaks down, typical summer thunderstorms return, and the heat also breaks down. So with the heat breaking down, we have that lower risk of severe weather with these storms to the end of the week. They're just going to be very typical summertime thunderstorms. I'm not saying there's not going to be severe storms, because you guys know these summer thunderstorms can pack a punch, but they're not going to be as widespread, and they're not going to be as strong because it won't be as hot, okay? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, essentially a 30 to 50% chance. I looked at everything over and over this morning. One of our long-range models has widespread rain after every afternoon. The GFS model, the other one, is pretty dry. The Euro, which is the one I'm going with, it is the wetter solution. It's been doing better with the storms as of late. It thinks just spotty thunderstorms Thursday, a wave of storms Friday, another wave of storms Saturday, and then we may get a break on Sunday. So right now, the better day of the weekend looks to be Sunday. Neither day is going to be a washout, but we're likely to see spotty thunderstorms both afternoons, okay? I'm seeing a question, Algeron Middlebrooks. Algeron, I hope I said your name right. Can we see damaging wind? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You can't see the wind, but you definitely will see the trees and things blow around. So, you know, you want to secure your patio furniture, that kind of stuff. I think we had a day last week where there was like a bouncy house on the interstate because the wind picked it up. I expect that kind of wind, like wind that can blow trampolines in the backyard over, wind that can take the umbrellas that you have at the pool, blow them completely down. That's the kind of thing we're going to see tomorrow with really, really heavy rain and a lot of lightning, okay? And again, the time frame on that is a little bit later. I would say after about 5 p.m. tomorrow is when your guard needs to go up for the chance of those strong storms moving in, all right? Okay, guys, well, this is a summertime pattern, if I do say so myself. Hope you guys stay cool. You guys know this is the drill. We've only had 6 days at 90, above 90 so far yesterday. We've had 5 days above 90, including today. So we haven't had a hot summer so far, but we're going to get a bunch over the coming week. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost every day is above 90, which is what we expect this time of year. So stay cool, guys, and Courtney Jacobazzi will be in. She's back in a few minutes. She's going to show you the updated forecast model at noon about the storms for tomorrow. So you'll want to tune in to Atlanta News First for that, and we will see you back here. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thank you for watching ANF Plus. For more breaking news,